Welcome to Context 101. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon for more breaking updates. A new sense of anticipation and optimism is rising with the sun over the Philippines. This feeling is sweeping across the archipelago, from the bustling cities to the quiet coastal villages, as the nation looks toward a future powered by its own resources. The year 2026 marks a pivotal turning point for the country's long-dormant energy sector, a sector that has waited decades for revitalization. After years of heavy reliance on imported fuel, the Philippines is now taking bold, decisive steps to unlock and harness its own natural resources, aiming for greater energy independence. The recent awarding of new service contracts to both local and international companies and the launch of large-scale exploration activities in previously untapped areas signal a dramatic shift from dependency to a new era of self-sufficiency and innovation. This resurgence comes at a time when Southeast Asia's energy landscape is rapidly evolving, with major discoveries and technological breakthroughs in neighboring countries like Malaysia and Indonesia. The government's proactive stance is sending a clear message to the world. The Philippines is open for business, investment, and collaboration on a global scale. The country is serious about developing its oil and gas potential. Modern technology, expertise, and international partnerships are now being harnessed to explore previously challenging frontiers, from deepwater basins to complex geological formations. This is a story of hope, ambition, and calculated risk, one that weaves together geology, geopolitics, and a renewed sense of national pride. As the nation stands on the cusp of this new era, understanding the historical context of past efforts and setbacks and the current realities of the global energy market is essential for charting a successful path forward. The journey ahead will be long and challenging, filled with obstacles and opportunities, but for the first time in years, the direction is clear, and the momentum is building. The question is no longer if the Philippines will pursue its energy ambitions, but just how far those ambitions will take the nation, and how it will shape the country's future for generations to come. The Philippines' oil exploration journey began in earnest with Presidential Decree No. 87 in 1972, a landmark law that signaled the country's determination to find and develop its own energy resources. At the time, the world was reeling from oil shocks, and the Philippines, heavily dependent on imports, was eager to secure its own supply. This decree established the service contract system, a framework that encouraged both local and foreign companies to invest in oil exploration, a system still in use today, shaping the industry's legal and economic landscape. The first major breakthrough came in 1979 with the Nido oil field, when oil finally flowed from Philippine soil. This historic moment proved that commercial oil existed within Philippine territory, sparking excitement and hope for energy independence. This discovery ignited a wave of exploration and positioned Palawan as the country's petroleum hub, drawing in new investments and expertise from around the world. However, despite the initial optimism, subsequent finds were modest. Total discovered reserves since 1972 have reached only about 65 million barrels, a fraction of what the country had hoped for, and far short of transforming the Philippines into a major oil producer. The industry faced tough geology, deepwater challenges, and fluctuating investor sentiment. Many wells came up dry, and the technical and financial risks remained high, discouraging some companies from further exploration. Production from aging fields declined over time, and as domestic output fell, the Philippines returned to being a major net importer, relying once again on foreign oil to meet its growing energy needs. Lessons from Nido and Galak, and the many dry wells drilled over the decades, have shaped today's strategies. The industry has learned to adapt, innovate, and manage risk more effectively. The new wave of exploration in 2026 builds on decades of data, experience, and a persistent national aspiration for energy security. With improved technology and renewed government support, hopes are high for a breakthrough. The quest for black gold continues, driven by hard-earned lessons, the resilience of Filipino workers, and a renewed sense of hope for the nation's energy future. 2025 marked a turning point as the government awarded 8 new petroleum service contracts to local and international players. This expansion targets basins in the Sulu Sea, Palawan, Cagayan, Cebu, and central Luzon, signaling a diversified strategy. Investor confidence is at its highest in over a decade, thanks to strong government support and a stable fiscal regime. The Department of Energy has streamlined processes and made terms competitive, attracting companies willing to take on exploration risks. Some contracts now include natural hydrogen exploration, positioning the Philippines for both conventional and clean energy futures. The seamless renewal of PXP Energy's Gelok oil field contract underscores the government's commitment to supporting existing producers. These moves send a clear message. The Philippines values long-term partners and is serious about maximizing its resources. The stage is set for a new era of exploration and investment. Optimism in the Philippines is set against the backdrop of Vietnam's stunning 2026 oil discovery. Murphy Oil's Hai Su Vang 2X well in Vietnam's Q Long Basin revealed over 430 million barrels of oil equivalent, nearly 7 times the Philippines' total historical finds. This game-changing discovery is expected to reverse Vietnam's declining output and revitalize its economy. For the Philippines, Vietnam's success is both inspiration and a reminder of the region's untapped potential. It highlights the difference in scale between world-class discoveries and the Philippines' early-stage exploration. Yet, it also encourages explorers to take a fresh look at Philippine basins. The road ahead is long, but the potential rewards are clear. To truly understand the Philippines' ambitions in the energy sector, it's vital to see its place within the vast and competitive global energy landscape. The world's oil industry is dominated by a handful of giants, nations whose reserves and production capacity shape global markets and influence economies far beyond their borders. Contrary to some claims, Russia's oil reserves exceed 80 billion barrels, over 1,200 times the Philippines' total discoveries. This immense difference highlights just how small the Philippines' current oil resources are compared to the world's leading producers. The Philippines is a minnow among giants, with about 65 million barrels found since 1972. These discoveries, while significant locally, are modest on the world stage, and the country's oil industry remains in its early stages of development. Even Vietnam's recent find, at 430 million barrels, is a fraction of what global leaders hold. Yet, for countries like the Philippines, such discoveries can be game-changers, offering hope and inspiration for what might be possible. The Philippines' goal isn't to rival Russia or Saudi Arabia, but to achieve greater energy self-sufficiency and reduce costly imports. Every barrel produced locally means less dependence on volatile international markets and more control over the nation's energy future. Moderate discoveries could transform the economy, generate revenue, and create jobs. Even small increases in domestic production can have a ripple effect, boosting local industries and supporting families across the country. The current boom is in activity and optimism, not yet in mega-sized reserves. There's a sense of excitement and anticipation as new projects get underway, and the industry attracts fresh investment. The 8 new service contracts are seeds for future growth. Each agreement represents a step forward, laying the groundwork for discoveries that could reshape the nation's energy landscape. The hope is for a discovery on the scale of Vietnam's, but for now, the focus is on methodical, high-risk exploration. Success is never guaranteed, but each survey and drill brings valuable knowledge and experience. Every step forward is a victory in itself, fueling the nation's determination to carve out its own place in the global energy story. Renewed oil and gas exploration could bring significant economic benefits to the Philippines. The initial $207 million investment for new contracts is just the start. A commercial discovery could attract billions more. This capital would stimulate economic activity, create jobs, and strengthen the peso. Government revenue from oil production could fund infrastructure and social services, reducing reliance on taxes and debt. Domestic production would cut the massive import bill, saving foreign exchange and improving the trade balance. A stable energy supply would lower business costs and boost competitiveness. The industry would create thousands of high-skilled jobs and foster supporting industries. Technology transfer from international partners would upgrade the local workforce, leaving a lasting legacy. Optimism in the Philippine energy sector is echoed by industry leaders and analysts. Edgar Benedict C. Cuchonco of the Philippine Petroleum Association sees 2026 as a turning point, crediting government-private sector synergy and stable policies. Internationally, Murphy Oil's Eric Hambley calls Vietnam's discovery a pivotal moment, showing how a single well can change a country's energy future. Analysts note, the Philippines is laying the right groundwork: transparent bidding, modern energy sources, and reduced policy risk. Vietnam's success may prompt companies to re-examine Philippine basins with similar geology. Experts caution that exploration is uncertain. Contracts are just the first step. The real test comes when drilling begins and results are analyzed. The Philippines is doing the right things to attract investment. Now, it all depends on what the drill bit finds. The most critical chapter is yet to be written. Developments in the Philippines and Vietnam are redrawing Southeast Asia's energy map. Declining output from traditional producers has opened the door for new players. Vietnam's Hai Su Vang discovery re-establishes it as a key regional player and is expected to attract new investment across ASEAN. The Philippines' exploration drive positions it as a new frontier for capital-seeking opportunities beyond mature areas. A major discovery would benefit both the nation and ASEAN's overall energy security. However, exploration in contested waters requires careful diplomacy to avoid escalating territorial disputes. A successful energy program will depend on both advanced technology and deft diplomacy. The Philippines is not just searching for oil, it's carving out a more influential regional role. The Philippines stands at a critical juncture in its quest for energy independence. New exploration contracts and rising investor confidence set the stage for a transformative period. This is a story of strategic planning and determined pursuit of a secure future, not an overnight boom. The goal is to unlock domestic resources, reduce import reliance, and fuel national development. Economic rewards, investment, revenue, jobs are within reach. Industry leaders confirm the Philippines is on the right track, with a stable policy environment attracting global expertise. The journey is fraught with uncertainty, but the foundation is strong and momentum is building. The search for black gold is on, and the stakes have never been higher.